Hey, it's your homegirl, Abby Cornelius, and today we are going to talk about grit, and we are going to talk about quit, and we're going to talk about knowing when to be gritty and when to be quitty, and the power and the beauty in being both gritty and quitty. I used to think that grit and quit were opposites, where actually I'm reframing it that they are two sides of the same coin, thanks to some knowledge drop by Annie Duke. And I'm going to share all of this with you in today's Homegirl episode. Before we get started, if you are tuning in on YouTube, hello, welcome to my channel. This is new. I'm so excited to be here. Please like, subscribe, and share. Drop new content every Wednesday. If you're listening to this on the podcast, samesies, like, comment, share, whatever. I would love your support. I appreciate your support. But if you find this episode helpful, please share it with a friend, because I know that this particular topic has been huge for me throughout my life, and I hope that it can add value to some other ladies out there. So let's dig in. Grit and quit. So for a long time, I thought that quit was like a true four-letter word. Like, we don't quit, we don't give up, we don't give in, we don't surrender. We just have to stick it out, and that the carrot is worth chasing. There is gold at the end of the rainbow, all of light at the end of the tunnel, all of those things. And that is true for some, but it is not true for all. And I think we live in this world of like social media where it's like glitz and glamour, and like all these people put their highlight reel out there, and it makes you think, well, everybody that struggles with infertility gets a baby. That's not true. A lot of folks don't. Everybody that, works hard and saves gets out of debt and lives this like millionaire lifestyle. That's not true. They don't. And everybody who just gives their all at work gets to climb the corporate ladder and become a CEO. That's not true. They don't. And I think the most humbling thing we can do for ourselves is to be honest about where we are today, what we're working towards tomorrow, and be mindful with the use of our time. We only have one amazing life. And yes, you can be gritty. Yes, you can work those extra hours. Yes, you can give something 100% and you can still fall short. But if the goal is worth chasing, then keep going for it. I think what I confused quit with was giving up. And giving up is when you get met with a little bit of resistance and you're like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm going to back out. But you still want whatever you were going for. Giving up is like, I really want this promotion, but one person told me I might not be qualified, so I just stopped going for it. Well, that's just giving up. That's not being gritty. And it's not necessarily quitting, because there's no confidence behind that. I think quit needs to be like power move. Like, I quit. Here's my resignation. I'm done with this relationship. I'm breaking up with you. Like, I'm done, with drinking or smoking or whatever. Like, quit is like a power move. And I think that power move is grit. I think that grit and quit are both like serious, like, I've got this, I know what I want, and I'm going for it type moves. And so don't mistake quit with giving up. If you're on a path for a promotion, if you are going through a financial struggle, if you're going through, something big like health issues or infertility, like, don't give up at the first sign of resistance. Don't give up the first time it gets a little uncomfortable, because let me tell you, there's a lot of uncomfortable that went into IVF. There's a lot of like shots. There's a lot of disappointing news. There's a lot of exposing yourself to doctors. There's a lot that goes in to things that are important to you. And if you stop, if you give up at the first sign of resistance, you're probably going to miss the true growth that comes through that journey, whether the end result happens or not. So I want to encourage people not to give up, but I do want to encourage everybody to reframe quit. And so, like I said, for years, I thought quit was a four-letter word. I thought it wasn't something that I should do. It's like, if I committed to something, I had to stick to it. If I said I was going to do this, race or Spartan race or whatever, it's like, I'm going to do this. I have to do this because I told people I was going to. I don't want to look like I'm a flake. I don't want to look like I'm somebody that changes my mind. I want to keep up with the Joneses, all these things. But at the end of the day, like, let's use this. So there was a Spartan race that I signed up for, and I did quit. I said, I'm not going to do it, because when I signed up for it, I didn't think through the time commitment it would take to train. And I also didn't enjoy that in my season of life. I liked exercising then, but I didn't like running. I didn't like doing all of that. So it's like I signed up for something because everybody else was doing it and I wanted to be in with the crowd, whatever. And then I quickly realized like, this isn't for me. I don't want to commit my full weekends to running and training, and I don't really care if I do it or not. So why am I going to pretend and whatever? So I quit and I pulled out, and I don't think anybody even gave a shit. But so the games that we play in our head, but I quit and I felt good about that decision and I moved on. Right. While going through my infertility struggle, there were many times I wanted to give up because it was uncomfortable, but I didn't ever want to quit because I knew I wanted to be a mom. But that doesn't mean that I wouldn't have reached that point. And I think I was pretty damn close to it. It's a very emotional journey. It's very time consuming. It's very costly. It affects every part of your life. It affected my friendships. It affected my relationship with my husband. It affected my job. And so I had in my mind like a stop loss. I will do this one more time. And after that, I need to find a different path and I need to find a different way to bring joy because this isn't sustainable for me. Thankfully for me, it worked out. I know that is not the case for every woman out there. And I think that we need to encourage people that it is not that you need to let go of the dream, but you need to let go of what it's costing you. And that's when quit can be a power move. So for me, with my corporate job and leaving that, I could have been gritty. I could have persevered. I could have stayed the course. I could have worked there another 5, 10, 15, 25 years. I could have done all of those things because I said I wanted to, or because, everybody was cheering for me, or because I didn't want to like let my family down financially. Like there's a lot of reasons why I could have gritted it out. But at the end of the day, the quit for me was a confident move. The quit for me was not, hey, I'm met with resistance and I'm uncomfortable and I want to stop. The quit for me was, this isn't where I see myself going. This is taking too much time, energy, and resources where I could be building a different future for myself. And I always said to my people in sales, the juice needs to be worth the squeeze. And so let me explain this to you, because I think this is another example of grit and quit. When you're in sales, it's very stressful. It's a full commission job in the new home world. Typically, you have to work weekends. You tend to work nights. It's a roller coaster, right? You get to cancel. You may lose money, and then you got to try to make more money. There's a lot of pressure from the office to hit sales goals. It's a very stressful job. But the juice is normally worth the squeeze. It is very rewarding to help people into a home. It is very rewarding to see a community come to life. It is insanely rewarding to make the money that these new home salespeople make. It's life-changing, especially if you're highly successful. The juice is worth the squeeze. But when it's not, when you're overworking, when you're not setting boundaries, when you're saying no to vacations and you're saying no to family stuff and you're saying no to your health, it is no longer worth it. And you hit that break-even point of like, yeah, I can keep doing this versus no, I'm done. Like I'm out. And I think we could do a big quit and say, hey, I'm leaving this job, but it's probably not the best choice. And it's so funny, as a quitter of work, I don't encourage people to quit their jobs. I think instead what you need to start with, and what I started with, was quitting the behaviors that are taking away from the joy of the work. So stop working after 7:00 at night. Stop canceling vacations. Maybe you quit in a mini way. Maybe you go and take a sabbatical for a couple months and reset your mind and rest and replenish your body and come back your fresh, vibrant, and excited self again for the work. I think we underplay the power of a quit and quitting a habit, quitting a relationship, quitting anything that is not serving us because we're afraid of what it's going to look like. It is not easy to say, I don't want that job that I threw my name in the hat for. It's not easy to say, hey, boss, I think I need to take a leave of absence for a while. I'm really struggling physically, mentally, whatever that is. It is not easy to say, you know what, I think I need to find a whole new career path. That's super overwhelming and scary, but it's gritty as hell if the goal is to live your best life. And so if my goal is to show up as my best self and stressing out at work isn't doing that, then I need to find another path. I need to be gritty and quitty so that I can get where I want to go. So I want you to think today about your relationships, about your work-life balance, about, and I just full disclosure, I don't think there's truly a balance. I think everything needs you to show up in different ways, but maybe the blend, how well you blend between work and life. What does that look like? You know, your health, whatever that is. And again, guys, I don't have this all figured out. This is just this is just Abby sharing her perspective. But I think you need to take a hard look at, am I putting my energy into the right things? Is there something today that I need to quit? Do I need to quit talking shit? Do I need to quit gossiping? Do I need to quit, you know, watching 4 hours of TV at night and maybe pick up a book instead? Do I need to quit drinking because it's just making me feel even worse the next day? Do I need to quit this relationship or this friendship because it's just absolutely draining and exhausting me? And then think, where am I not being gritty enough? Where am I not holding my ground and saying, this is important to me, and I'm going to go through it, and I'm going to go through it no matter how uncomfortable it is, because I want to chase this. So that's my message to you today. I want to get a shirt made that says I'm gritty and quitty. I want to thank my friend who sent me the Annie Duke podcast episode talking about grit and quit. She sent it to me after I quit. She said, I heard this and it made me think of you. And it touched my heart because I think I didn't want to identify as a quitter, and it helped me reframe truly why I quit. And I quit as a power move. I quit as a stop loss. I couldn't waste more time not doing what I felt I was called to do. And it, at a minimum, I couldn't at least try. I had to try. And it empowered me to know that that feeling of quit was my grit. And I think you may need to hear that too. You may think taking a pause at work or taking a pause in a relationship may feel weak, but it might very well be the strongest and grittiest thing you could do. So if you're tuning in and you're like, oh girl, I needed that, and you want to reach out and talk about it, I will have my link to book a call with me down in my show notes. And again, like, subscribe, share. So appreciate your support. I hope to grow this channel over this next year, and that can only happen with the support of you. So thank you so much, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.